Right now at 6, an active standoff in Duluth. We have live coverage from the Piedmont neighborhood.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan Half. Right now at 6, Duluth police are involved in a standoff in the Piedmont neighborhood. It is actually pretty close to the Piedmont Elementary School. CBS3's Kendall Jarbo is live on scene for us. Kendall.
Right now, I'm in the Piedmont neighborhood near the intersection of Nanticoke Street and North 23rd Avenue West. This is about a quarter of a mile from Piedmont Elementary School. Law enforcement is on scene responding in a standoff where they say a man barricaded inside his home is wanted on significant charges. Duluth police responded around 1 p.m. today, and now 5 hours later, they are still on scene. Also on scene with them, I can see there is St. Louis County Sheriff's Office and a police tactical response team. In total, there's about 15 law enforcement vehicles here. Over the speakers, they are announcing, come out with your hands up, and we don't want you to get hurt. In the past hour, I heard about 15 loud bangs near the house and 5 quieter popping noises just 10 minutes ago. No word on exactly what they are. In the last 5 minutes, there was a large tactical vehicle in front of the house. That has now moved between the two houses and out of our sight. Police say they don't know if the person is armed. While police say they do not believe there is a threat to the public, they are asking people to avoid this area in the Piedmont neighborhood. This is a very active situation, and we will continue to bring the latest on air and on our website.
Kendall Jarbo in the Duluth Piedmont neighborhood where there is an active standoff. Kendall, thank you. In other news, it has been 2 days since former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was taken into state custody, waiting to be sentenced for the murder of George Floyd. Shortly after this week's verdict, President Joe Biden said he will continue to fight for the passage of the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. That bill would ban chokeholds and no-knock warrants and create a national registry for police misconduct, mandate the use of deadly force as a last resort, and ban racial and religious profiling. The bill would also overhaul qualified immunity, which provides legal protections for police officers. The legislation has already passed the U.S. House in March without Republican support. And while the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act remains bogged down in the Senate, a Northland lawmaker is pushing a different piece of police reform legislation. Congressman Pete Stauber represents Minnesota's 8th Congressional District. Along with Republican South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, Stauber has reintroduced the Justice Act. That bill would increase the number of officers wearing body cameras, invest in community policing, and ensure the makeup of police departments more closely resembles the communities that they serve. The Republican and former police officer says many pieces of police reform bills are bipartisan, and unlike the Democratic-backed George Floyd Act, it has support from policing agencies. Stauber says his proposal keeps both the community and police officers front of mind.
I'm very optimistic that the changes that are going to come are going to be beneficial for the communities that the police officers serve.
Stauber says he is confident the Justice Act would pass if it were put on the floor today. The George Floyd Act goes further, including banning chokeholds, no-knock warrants, and racial and religious profiling. It also creates a national registry for police misconduct. We will have more about Stauber's proposal and how it differs from the George Floyd Act coming up at 10. Now to a CBS exclusive, an alternate juror in the Derek Chauvin murder trial is sharing what she experienced in that Minneapolis courtroom. Lisa Christensen did not have a role in the final verdict, but says she did sit through every minute of that trial as prosecutors and the defense each made their case. Christensen spoke exclusively to Jamie Yukis on CBS this morning.
You didn't want to be on the jury.
I was worried about, whatever the verdict may be, if some people felt strongly on one side, other people felt strongly on the other side. So no matter what, I felt like somebody wasn't going to be happy.
Would you have decided any differently than this jury did?
I felt he was guilty. They read the jury instructions to us in the courtroom. Briefly, I didn't know if it was going to be guilty on all counts, but I would have said guilty.
Why did you think he was guilty? What led you to that belief?
I just felt like the prosecution made a really good, strong argument. Dr. Tobin was the one that really did it for me. He explained everything. I understood it, down to where he said this is the moment that he lost his life. Really got to me.
So who made an impact with the defense? Good or bad? Just made an impact?
I don't think they had a good impact. I think he overpromised in the beginning and didn't live up to what he said he was going to do.
Or what were your first impressions of Derek Chauvin?
Every time I would look up, he was right in my vision. So we had locked eyes quite a few times, and I was pretty uncomfortable.
Which witnesses stood out to you?
Miss Frazier that took the video, I really felt that she felt guilty for not doing more, and she feels responsible in a way, and I feel really bad for her.
Had you ever seen the 9.5 minutes of video before?
No. I seen the video 2 or 3 times, but I didn't see it in its entirety because I only saw it on the news.
Do you feel like that's going to impact you for a while?
I do. So.
In what way?
Well, I just don't understand how it got from a counterfeit $20 bill to a death. It kind of shocks me.
Lisa lives in Brooklyn Center, the city where Dante Wright was shot by a police officer nearly 2 weeks ago. She told me those protests did not play into her decision about Chauvin being guilty in her mind. Wright will be laid to rest today, and the Floyd family will be there. Jamie Yucas, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Derek Chauvin is going to be sentenced in about 2 months from now and will likely spend decades behind bars. Meteorologist Dave Anderson joins us now for a quick look at our current conditions. Dave, what a beautiful day outside.
Yeah, much warmer than normal for most towns. Not every town, though. So we'll take another look at the high temps that came around today so far, because we still have a little more sunlight to come. Some of these temperatures could nudge upwards. High temp 66 in International Falls, 62 for Hibbing and Grand Rapids, 61 in Hermantown, 66 degrees for our friends in Superior, 62 in Hayward, but a little bit cooler than that in Ironwood, 59. And our friends in Cook County bubbled under, well, even normal temperatures, especially closer to the lake. No more 60s tomorrow. They're going away. And the sunshine that today is going away as well. Current Doppler shows high pressure in control with a pretty clear sky out there, but clouds are moving in from a pair of low pressure systems. Increasing clouds tonight, low temp in the upper 30s tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow's high temp only 50 degrees, a little cooler than normal, and a 50% chance for rain, which should knock down the fire danger that's really bubbling up here this evening. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a couple more minutes.
Thank you, Dave. Across Minnesota, an increase in the community spread of COVID-19 is prompting new testing recommendations for students and school sports. Both the Departments of Health and Education are urging athletes, coaches, referees, and volunteers to get tested on a weekly basis now. Middle and high school students not participating in sports or other group-related activities are being encouraged to get tested every 2 weeks. Right now, the state says school-related cases among students exceed the high set back in November during our fall surge. Meanwhile, this new guidance will give student athletes the option of removing face coverings outdoors while on the field or the court. Staying in Minnesota, help is here for renters who need to get caught up on overdue rent and utilities due to the coronavirus pandemic. Rent Help MN is open and accepting applications from eligible renters and landlords. The program covers rent and past utilities dating back to March 13th of last year. In some cases, renters could receive up to 15 months of assistance. There are a few ways to apply. You can either call 211 or visit the Rent Help MN website. We also have all of that information on our website and mobile app. In the state of Wisconsin, students and faculty at 2 of the biggest schools in the UW school system will not have to get the COVID vaccine to return to campus this fall. The leaders of both UW-Madison and UW-Milwaukee confirmed that decision today. Milwaukee's chancellor says 75% of system employees and 20% of students are already vaccinated. Madison's chancellor says students who chose not to get their shot will still have to get tested regularly. UW Superior leaders tell us students there are also not required to get vaccinated to return this fall. At Madison, Wisconsin's governor is officially vetoing a package of 11 bills championed by Republicans that passed through the state legislature last week. The bills would have dictated how Wisconsin could use their American Rescue Plan dollars. One of the bills vetoed would have spent $200 million of the state's $3.2 billion in funds on small businesses. Governor Tony Evers says his proposal will triple that amount, investing $600 million. These vetoes come after Republicans in the state legislature passed a bill that would have required oversight and approval of federal funds. However, that was also vetoed by the governor. Despite a stinky situation with the city's water supply, leaders in Ely, Minnesota say the water is safe to drink. The city says it is working to eliminate an unusual springtime water odor and taste. They're currently monitoring the situation and working with the Department of Health to solve that issue. Officials said it could be a few days before that water gets back to normal. And now to a major reversal. Minnesota's highest court has overturned a ruling on a proposed natural gas plant over in Superior. The state appeals originally called for a lengthy review of the $700 million Minnesota Power Nemadji Trail Energy Center due to the potential for, quote, significant environmental effects. According to this week's ruling, the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission is not required to conduct that review. Environmental groups oppose the plant, saying the utility needs to focus on clean energy. The Wisconsin Public Service Commission approved the project last year. That decision, however, is currently being challenged in court. Still to come on live local CBS 3, a big Northland fundraiser was postponed once again due to the pandemic, why they say case numbers are a factor.
Today's high temp, 64 degrees, warmer than the normal of 53, but the record of 80 from 1980 stands for another year. It won't be this warm tomorrow. We're already cooling down as clouds go up and rain chances increase as well. We do need the rain again already, and we'll talk about how much could come coming up right after the break.
Gail King, Anthony Mason, and Tony DeCopel, weekday mornings on CBS.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Dr. Jamie Conniff talks about an increasingly common affliction, asthma, which is a disease of the lungs that can affect your ability to breathe.
Classic symptoms that we talk about for asthma are shortness of breath, wheezing, cough. Those are the things that you look for. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it is a child who's getting winded a lot more quickly than their friends. Or it's somebody who wheezes a lot more than their siblings do after getting a viral infection. The mainstay treatment for asthma, from the medication perspective, is inhalers. Those are medicines that are delivered through a device that you hold up to your mouth and breathe in and inhale into your lungs.
Diagnosis is important so that it can be treated properly. At Essentia, every patient has an asthma action plan.
It is one of those kind of scary conditions because you can feel fine and still be at risk for having a severe exacerbation that could lead to hospitalization, intubation in the intensive care unit, and even death. We live in this beautiful part of the world where we want to be spending time outside, exercising and enjoying the outdoors, and if we can't do that because we can't breathe when we go outside, then that's a problem. If we're ignoring symptoms of asthma and then those symptoms are getting in the way of that enjoyment, it's really this cascading effect on our health, that goes beyond just the lungs to our overall well-being, now and decades down the road.
For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medicalinsight.
Because of this, we built the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Because of this, we built Ford Expedition with best-in-class towing. Because of this, we built Escape with Ford Copilot 360. And because Ford SUVs are built for this, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. Now, for a limited time, get up to $3,300 total savings on an Escape, only at your Northland Ford dealers.
Think you could drop me off at the movie Saturday night?
You're trying to go on a secret date.
It's just a movie.
How old is this boy?
13.
Do his parents know about it?
What are you, mom now?
You're my sister. You and boys is weird.
Can I ask a relationship question? Who said I love you first?
It didn't go well. If you said I love you to Marcus and he said samesies, would you be okay with that?
Well...
And before you answer, remember who agreed to take you on a secret date.
A new Young Sheldon.
Every Thursday night.
8/7 Central. Or stream anytime on CBS.
CBS3 News is brought to you by Duluth Casino. When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
What a beautiful day today. High pressure brought sunshine. Temperatures went up several degrees, about 10 degrees warmer than normal for a lot of towns, but humidity levels stayed the same. So you take the temperature up away from the dew point, you drop the relative humidity to very dangerous levels for fire danger. So yes, we're facing a fire threat for our entire region till at least sunset tonight. The National Weather Service says the fire danger is near critical, so mind your P's and Q's outdoors. Once we get to sunset, temperature and dew point get closer together again, relative humidity goes up, and hopefully tomorrow with clouds increasing and rain chances coming around, we'll put the fire danger away for a while. Although the first round, Friday, Saturday, may not do the trick. Another shot at some showers could be coming around by Monday, and that could bring a better chance for a bit of a soaker. Current conditions, it shows only 23% for the relative humidity at the airport in Duluth, and that's awfully dry. 61 degrees is the current temp. By our standards, awfully warm. Westerly, southwesterly wind is 16 miles per hour, and that's taking moisture out of the ground rapidly as well. Air pressure starting to slip already. It got high today and it made the sky blue, but now the barometric pressure is down to 29.84 as a pair of low pressure systems try to influence our weather in a cloudier and rainier way beginning later on tonight. Current temps 57 to 59 degrees in the Upper Peninsula. We're looking at about 53 only for folks in La Pointe, but when you're surrounded by water, that happens. It's as warm as 64 in Superior, everybody else in Wisconsin in between. And Minnesota numbers are, for the most part, right now in the lower 60s, though towards Silver Bay, we have mid-50s, and it gets as cool as 42 by the lake near Grand Marais. So not everybody had the warm spell today, but for those of us who did, it felt rather nice. It goes away already by tomorrow. Right now, high pressure is bringing in a clear sky to just about everybody in the area. There's a few clouds popping up in northern Wisconsin, but they're not that thick, but could become thicker as a low-pressure system skirts by to our north and bubbles up from our south. We're caught in between. That means Friday has a 50% chance for showers. Saturday morning especially, has a 30% chance for snow showers as cooler air behind that cold front comes to call. And then into Sunday, we'll start to dry up for one more day before the next round comes in on Monday. So how much could come from the first round? Really not that much. Our rain forecaster is indicating really just a trace to maybe a tenth of an inch, so it's not a huge deal. The bigger deal, again, maybe Monday. That deal may last till Wednesday. So now here comes the 7-day forecast. Minnesota lows tonight, 35 to 40, increasing clouds. Wisconsin, Michigan low temps, 36 to 39. For tomorrow, with a 50% rain chance, Wisconsin and Michigan gets highs from 50 to 53, so subtract 10 from what you have today. Minnesota numbers will go from 46 to 50 with that 50% rain chance, which becomes a 30% chance for a Saturday morning rain-snow mix. Sunday gets partial sunshine and a high of 45, and then clouds and rain return Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. 40 to 60% chances, Ryan. And high temps will run the range then of about 45 to 50. So today's foray into the 60s is going away for at least a week.
Yeah, and get those umbrellas ready too. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Thank you. A Northland Research Institute received funding to continue its work protecting our Great Lakes. The Natural Resources Research Institute has been studying coastal wetlands since 2011. They just received another 5-year grant from the EPA to continue that work. Researcher Valerie Brady says they monitor coastal wetlands around the Great Lakes from Duluth to the St. Lawrence Seaway. They look at how the wetlands are doing and the impacts humans are having on the environment.
Some of the lakes have lost 95% of their coastal wetlands. Lake Superior is doing much better, which is terrific, but we don't want to be causing continual degradation of the wetlands.
Brady says the program gives its data to the EPA. The agency uses it to suggest ways to restore the wetlands, including protecting fish spawning areas and bird habitats. For the second year in a row, Minnesota will honor fallen soldiers with a virtual ceremony on Memorial Day. The Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs is teaming up with Twin Cities PBS to create a half-hour special that will air across the state. The special, called Reflections Memorial Day 2021, will be broadcast at 8 p.m. on Monday, May 31st. It will also be made available online. The Duluth Lions Club has postponed its Pancake Day fundraiser again. Instead of the traditional early May date, they are now shooting for around September 30th. They plan to make a final decision based on COVID-19 case numbers by early July here. The Pancake Day event not only is a chance to chow down, but also to help the Lions Club fund sight, hearing, and diabetes care for people in need. About 9,000 people attend the event at the deck each year. Ahead in sports, a big decision regarding masks in high school athletics. Kelly has the latest next.
Order your 2021 Polaris side-by-side now from Duluth Lawn and Sports.
CBS3 Live Cams, brought to you by KohlerChef.com. Now featuring the Kohler Express Deal online buying solution. KohlerChef.com, a better way to buy.
It's Slumberland's Build Your Room sale. Look what you can get for only $20, $30, $40 a month. Some options for your living room. Just $20 a month when you spend $1,200 and pay no interest for 5 years.
Well, hello, Slumberland.
Coronavirus work injuries. Call Stockman Law Office. Return to work issues. Payment of medical bills and lost wages. Call anytime. 218-576-8599. No recovery, no fee. Please stay safe and healthy. Stockman Law Office. Serious injuries, serious law.
One day, and I hope not far from now, friendly handshakes and hugs will return.
I cannot wait to have a potluck with families and friends.
I can't wait to dance on the powwow trails again.
Reconnect with one another.
Get all the kids together.
Go to kindergarten. For everyone to meet our son, Anthony.
What I'm most looking forward to is performing again. As long as we do our part, I believe we'll get back to that real soon.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 33 miles per gallon. An available 260 horsepower turbocharged engine, advanced technology, and an available extra-large touchscreen. The best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you.
Lease the new 2021 Subaru Outback for $249 a month. 4710 Miller Truck Highway, online at millerhill.com.
Helping to make memories for generations. Numi Jewelers.
To us, success is measured by fruitful gardens, vibrant flowers, or beautiful landscapes. Success is knowing that from seed to salad, you grew what's on your dinner table. Locally made natural compost that boosts your soil's growing power. Garden Green. It's at the root of success.
Thursdays are a favorite day at Fond du Lac Casino because they're loaded with kiosk cash. Every Thursday, qualified Players Club members can swipe their card at the kiosk, play the game, and may win up to $500 in cash. You can even participate up to 3 times each date. For more details, stop by the Players Club or log on to fondduluthcasino.com. Come in for the excitement of Thursday kiosk cash and make Thursday your best day of the week while you have a great time out at Fond du Lac.
Oh, my back.
Hey, Dylan, need a mattress? Look what you can get at Slumberland for just $20, $30, $40 a month.
I love choices.
And you'll pay no interest for 5 years. The huge Sealy sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app. Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
One step toward normalcy. That is the kind of collective sigh of relief being felt for athletes across spring sports today. The State High School League announced the updated mask requirements for certain sports. The Minnesota Department of Health updated guidance to the league today. Masks are no longer required for student athletes in outdoor contests and practices. Since the reinstatement of high school sports in Minnesota back in January, student athletes have been required to wear masks throughout all practices and games. However, masks must be worn when participants are not actively practicing or playing and cannot maintain social distancing.
Kids have been, after losing a season in 2020 to COVID-19 as a whole, I think you could have asked baseball players, hockey players, volleyball players, kids in speech to wear welding helmets on the field, and they would have done it without much complaint. So I think this is just, again, another step that we're all headed in the right direction, and it's able to kind of just make baseball and the other parts of our lives more front and center than just the pandemic.
Like he said, he added that it's one step closer to being excited just about baseball itself. A big matchup over at the Wade for them tonight. They host Hermantown. We'll have highlights from that one tonight on the CBS3 News at 10. It's effective today, so over at Duluth East this afternoon, no masks and game on against Esco, who loaded up the bases in the top of the first. Cole Andrus on the plate. Pitch gets away, so Noah Furcht comes in. It's 3-0 Esco after an inning. They added a fourth run in the second, but the Greyhounds threatened back in the third. Bo Brown takes ball 4. The ball escapes to the backstop. Dylan Teachworth scores from third. Deficit down to 4-2. On to the fourth. Eskimos threatening again. This time it's Finn Furcht coming home on a passed ball. The first 7 runs of this game all came that way. At last check, this one's still in progress. 5-2 Esco led. And the UMD football team opted not to participate in a spring season this year as they aim to turn the page towards a successful season next fall. Instead, they were set to play in a series of scrimmages, the last of which was scheduled for this Saturday, but unfortunately that has been canceled due to COVID-19 protocols. The Bulldogs were supposed to head down to Woodbury to scrimmage Minnesota State Mankato. It's the second COVID-related schedule shift they've been dealt this spring. Their spring showdown event last weekend was originally supposed to feature a total of 3 teams before Bemidji State backed out, so the Bulldogs were only actually able to get in 1 scrimmage against Michigan Tech last Saturday. That's going to do it for sports for now. We'll have more coming up here tonight at 10. For now, Ryan, I'll send it back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Kelly. Before we go, we are continuing to follow breaking news out of Duluth's Piedmont neighborhood, where police are involved in an active standoff. This is a live look our team has from Nanticoke and North 22nd Avenue West. Officers responded there around 1 p.m. earlier today. Authorities tell us a man wanted on significant charges barricaded himself inside that home. Duluth police are still on scene trying to negotiate with him. They don't believe there is a threat to the public right now, but they are asking everyone in that area to stay away and for those neighbors to stay inside of their homes. You can stay up to date with all of that news coming up tonight at 10, as well as CBS3Duluth.com. Turning to the weather, Dave, how's the rest of the night looking for us?
Well, tonight should be calm and not as cold either. This morning we were in the 20s for a lot of towns. Tomorrow it's the 30s, and it's because clouds are increasing. So the sunshine that today goes away with sunset, of course, but is going to be filtered tomorrow with a thicker cloud cover from a pair of lows that bring a 50% chance for rain showers and also knock our temperatures down. If the town's got 60 today, we're going to drop it to 50 for Friday and then pull it down towards 42 on Saturday. The back end of the lows on Saturday could bring a rain-snow mix. Rain showers Friday, mix on Saturday, partial sunshine on Sunday, gives us a break before our next chance for rain arrives Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Those are 40 to 60% chances for rain showers, and so frankly, that second round has a better chance of bringing us the precip we need to take down the fire danger. It's high tonight, so mind your P's and Q's with fire.
All right, Dave, thank you. Get outside and enjoy it while you can. We'll see you back here tonight at 10 o'clock. Have a good one.